Alright, this is just a quick video just to get you ready for imaginary numbers. Kind of show you what it is and how we deal with it. I mean, what is an imaginary number? To some of you, imaginary numbers are all numbers. You struggle with them anyway. Now we're going to make them imaginary? Holy cow. Well, an imaginary number, we use the letter I for it to represent it. But before I tell you what it is, let's take a look at a couple things. Like if you had the equation x squared equals 25, okay? Pretty easy to plug in a number and find out how to make that true. Okay, how you make that true? 5 would make that true if x was 5 and if x was negative 5. And you could verify that really quickly. 5 squared, well, 5 squared is 5 times 5, which is 25. Okay, negative 5 squared, negative 5 times negative 5 is a positive 25. So both of those check out to be true. So these are the two solutions of that particular problem. Okay, but what happens if we change it just a little bit? And let's make it negative 25. Okay? And you could get your calculator out and try it out, and it gives you this fancy thing called a domain error. Because to solve this, and you could go back here to the beginning, to solve this you could have taken a square root of both sides. The opposite of square is to root. And so x equals plus or minus 5. Okay, rooting them. Okay, and you could use your calculator on that problem. When you get to this problem, it doesn't work anymore. But there is a number that would make this true. And that number happens to be imaginary. So if you did the same thing, if you square rooted both sides, okay, so now we have x equaling plus or minus something. Go ahead and take out the 25, square root of 25, that's still 5. This negative part is an I. That's the imaginary part. Okay? And, I just simply define I as the square root of negative 1. So you take the negative out separately. And then you can verify that this works. Okay? If you squared both sides of I squared, we need one more thing. I squared would be negative 1. Okay, so you really have two definitions. You have I being the square root of negative 1, and if you square it, like I did up here, I squared could also equal negative 1 because your roots cross out, things like that. Okay, going quick here because I'm running out of time. So with that definition in mind, now we'll go to plug the 5i in. Our original equation was x squared equals 25, negative 25. Let's see if we can come up with that. So let's try a positive 5i. So 5i squared, what does that equal? Well, 5i squared, that would be 25i squared. Well, we defined quickly that I squared is equal to negative 1. There we go. Negative 25. If you do negative 5i squared to verify to see if that works, so this is true. And then here, negative times negative is positive, so you'd have 25, positive 25i squared, same thing, negative 25. So your answer in that case is x equals plus or minus 5i. And, that's just a very quick definition of imaginary. So maybe I'll be doing more and probably add complex onto that next. So thanks for listening. Hope this helps you out.